Hey, I'm Chris Parsons. I'm host of the Last Click, winding down to this day two here at CommerceNext. And I have the privilege of sitting now with Vivian from GNC. Vivian and I connected we go way back like 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, and had a great dialogue for about half an hour or so. And I'm really fortunate to have Vivian join us today, taking time out of her day at CommerceNext. And Vivian, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Happy to meet you in person here at CommerceNext. So my background most recently is running e-commerce GNC. So that's direct to consumer, it's marketplace business, like social commerce for retail. Sort of I kind of have a windy road background. And so before this, I spent several years at Clorox. So CPG company owns brands like Burt's Bees, Hidden Valley Ranch, which is very much in the news right now, Brita, but helping them stand up a direct consumer capability. And so, sort of these last couple places have been at enterprise companies, but sort of trying to drive change and push teams to think like a startup. So a little bit scrappier and challenge the norms and ask why not.
That's great. I love that you call it a windy road. I've been with many retailers. Usually I have a lifespan of about 6 years before either they get sick of me or I get sick of the
Yeah.
role. But I also think each time that I go to a new place, it's that windy road that has created the experience that I have and the different thought processes that I have. How has your experience helped you in your new role with GNC?
Yeah, sure. So I'm kind of coming full circle now. GNC is retail. Clorox was CPG, done pure play direct for startup. And then before that was some mobile apps and digital advertising. And so I felt like I've hit all of the different ways that you could sell to a consumer essentially.
Yeah.
And it is helpful to pull on those themes. And I think my underlying background is sort of a marketer and a direct consumer marketer. I think what that really means is consumer needs come first. So my orientation is always what is the consumer experience? What is the user experience through all of the different touch points, whether we're talking about fulfillment or an email campaign or a meta campaign. It's how are we actually adding value to someone and making their lives a little bit better?
It's great. And the conference has been on for a day and a half now. You've had opportunity to go to some of the panels, some of the keynote. Is there anything that's stood out for you?
Of course, right now there's a lot of AI content,
Yeah.
but I also appreciate there's sort of a balance of sort of call it normal business pieces. And so, how are we thinking about leveraging creators as part of an extension to marketing? How are we going back to basics in some cases of like rethinking the technology stack and really shoring up the data foundations? I think these are the going to continue to be kind of cornerstones of success for the future. And then you add AI as the flywheel to get to scale quickly. But a lot of the conversations I've had one with people has been it's no longer the like AI replacing people, AI replacing jobs. It's like how do we actually amplify and what actually has to happen where people organization process way to get to that level of amplification with AI.
Right. And I think we use the term AI, but ultimately, what I've learned today in the last few days actually is everything that you've already implemented, whether it's a CRM, an ERP, a search optimization tool, all of these things now can leverage the large language models, whether it's a logistics system. So it's if you thought that you had something and it's going to last you 10 years, maybe reconsider some of the opportunities or some of the things that are you've implemented and take another look at some of the new technologies because they're making things far more efficient. You can, especially from, I've seen some logistics tools that are fantastic this week or a replenishment tool that allows you to take into consideration last year's sales, what impacted them positively or negatively, so you can forecast correctly this year. So there's a lot of that going on. And the term AI is great, but it's really just all your foundational tools have now got a supercharge to them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it is really lowering the barrier for non-technical folks to be able to get to things that are like MVP faster and to really reimagine, hey, maybe I used to have to work with whole data and analytics team to get to this report and dashboard that I want to look at every day. Now I can build it myself. But the same idea with even like a landing page or a wireframe for something. I don't I don't think we're creating finished products in most of these cases, but it's enough to get something started. I mean, I think that's the real fun part of kind of the time and place that we live in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you had an opportunity to walk some of the vendor booths and connect with them? Is there one or two that come to mind that you think like Exchange Solutions had an opportunity with their loyalty program here, and I just thought, I mean, what they were saying was hitting the right note. So if anyone's in the loyalty field or looking for a new loyalty partner, Exchange Solutions might be a good option. Is there someone that caught your attention?
It's a good question. I wish I had a better answer for you. I will say, have one that has stood out. I mean, actually, we connected prior, and then
Mhm.
now they're here. Is called Rep AI. So they essentially build sort of chatbots on sites, except for I think they're one of the only ones I've seen that integrate the customer service piece of it and the shopping assistant part of it. And so they're really doing some interesting things of allowing you as the brand to almost like customize on the back end a lot of almost like app module. So you can build what does this chatbot experience look like for consumers.
Very cool. And I always, after these events, have something I call the Monday morning mandate. What am I going to do or implement out from what I've learned at these conferences? I like to really document things over the weekend, have like a reset so I can share with the team. But I also want to make sure that I've identified something that I can add to my roadmap. And on Monday morning, I mandate myself to make sure I call the appropriate meetings, have the dialogue about the partners, what's the next steps. Otherwise, these things could just fall into the ether and never actually happen. Do you have any type of routine like that? Like how does something make the GNC roadmap going forward?
Yeah, I usually have lots of different names of like vendors or solutions and things that I want to check out. And so that becomes my, immediate next week kind of to-dos. And then also then like reaching out to a couple people that, hey, they said something interesting on stage I want to follow up on. But I think it's really like bringing this thinking back to the teams of what is the potential, and where I'm really focused is what are like practical next steps in use cases, because I think it's really easy to get overwhelmed with
Hmm.
everything. And so sort of my two I've done one really like auditing my own work week and having the teams do the same. What are really repetitive tasks that we're doing, right? And like where are our reporting and dashboard falling short? These are sort of like low hanging fruit areas to try and automate and to save time utilizing sometimes like AI tools. I think the other is we talked a lot about it's about communication, collaboration between people, teams, and then documenting those to feed back into
Hmm.
whatever the optimization engines are. And so my next step is to think about like picking one channel and having that team share like, hey, what are the insights that we're seeing, but not just to share within that channel and keep it in a silo, but to share, email sharing with the paid media teams and the social teams and the site
Yeah.
team. Say like, how do we build on this nugget of an idea and get to some MVP testing really quickly?
Yeah, I've been having conversations with clients, and usually it's on like the paid media side, but then they don't know what the private label team is doing, or they don't know what the social team is doing. And they're all measuring success and coming into meetings and saying, here's how the success I have. But then two other areas of the business have fallen short. So overall, it's not helping the whole organization. And I'm like, guys, we got to get better at what I call a scorecard versus a dashboard. And you can see all the metrics together. So even though you may not have an opportunity to influence the e-commerce sales or the store sales or the new followers, you all should have the same level set of what is going on within the organization before you determine that there's been success.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's, again, I actually think that the onus now is like more information sharing internally, more collaboration, more brainstorming sessions, because it's less time and effort to get to execution
Mhm.
again of those like MVPs. So how are we thinking strategically and thinking, 2, 3 steps ahead?
I love that. So Vivian, how does the audience get a hold of you if they want to connect and learn more, or if they have any ideas and thoughts to share with you? What's the best way to connect?
Sure. LinkedIn is honestly the easiest way to find me. So Vivian Chang, I'm the one with the like a purple background. There's a lot of Vivian Changs out there, but purple background, you will find me. Send me a note, shoot me a connection. I'd love to connect and chat.
Yeah, Vivian was great when I connected with her a couple of weeks ago, really responsive and gracious with your time. I appreciate it. And I will put your description and information below as well. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the afternoon at the conference and then safe drive home.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. It's great to chat and great to chat with your audience.
Thank you. Awesome.
Okay.